Well, good morning. It's a rainy day this morning on a Friday. The weather out there feels like my dog's nose, wet, cold, and nasty. Could hardly wait to get out there driving for Uber this morning, I'll tell you that. I thought I'd change things up a little bit from a fan club, all three of you. I want you to all appreciate it, keep them cards and letters coming. Keeps me encouraged. But thought I'd change the format there, talk about my two favorite characters, Virgil Bliss and Harvey Blanchard. And these are going to be stories that I'm making up myself, they're not true. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Well, but actually, they aren't true. They're just stories I'm making up, and I thought they're going to be mercifully short, so you don't have to sit there and listen to a whole bunch of blathering. They're just going to be short. But anyway, you got to get this picture in your head. Virgil and Harvey are sitting in the living room, and they get their feet stuck up on the coffee table, only because Virgil's wife isn't there to complain about it, but they're warming their feet. They've been out there ice fishing, so you can imagine what they smell like, filling the house with the aroma of dead fish. Also, again, because Virgil's wife ain't there to complain about it. And Harvey, who talks kind of slow, even for a Maine, he talks kind of slow. He turns to Harvey, and he's looking out the picture window of the living room, and he notices that Virgil's wife is out there chopping wood. And he says, Virgil, how come your wife is out there chopping wood? Ain't that the job that you should be doing? And Virgil just gave Harvey a sly grin. He says, well, there's a story about that, Harvey. And Harvey says, well, Virgil, we got some time. I'd like to hear that story. He says, well, last year, I think it was about towards the end of August, I was out chopping wood, and I was using Bernadette's grandfather. Bernadette's Virgil's wife. I was using her grandfather's axe to chop wood, like I always do. And I come down on a rock accidental, and broke the head of that axe, split it right down the middle, You could still use it, but, you couldn't really chop anything very big with half an axe head, And then I wasn't paying too much attention. I brought the half of the axe down on a piece of oak and just broke that half right in half, and that axe just ain't no good anymore. And that was her grandfather's axe. It had been in the family for years and years. I brought it in and showed it to her, and she started crying. And then her sorrow turned to, of course, anger, and she started using language that I haven't heard on the boatyard. I haven't heard that language on the boatyard. She didn't speak to me for 3 days. After that, that didn't bother me any. I took that as a verbal vacation. But during that time, an idea come into my head, and I went down to Leonard's hardware store, and I started looking around. And I saw this axe hanging on the shelf, and it was like the angels singing, and the glory of God just shining over that axe. The thing was just gorgeous. It was all chrome. You could see a face in the head of that axe. It was so shiny. You probably could have shaved with it. It was so sharp. It had one of them yellow fiberglass handles with that hard foam, grip that would keep your hands warm in the winter, and your hands wouldn't slip off it. And it even had its own case. And I forgot to tell you, I borrowed a neighbor's axe there, to finish up chopping the wood for last season, but that's how we got along. So I went ahead and bought that axe. It took about all the money I had in my savings, but I bought that axe, and with this case, and I wrapped it up in gift paper, and I gave her that axe for Christmas. And I'll tell you, when Bernadette opened that present, you'd have thought that she just jumped into my lap and she hugged me, and she said, "Oh, darling, this is the best thing that you could ever given me. I just can't, I just know you love me, and she just was, oh, she was so sweet. I just couldn't believe it, and so I knew that she had forgiven me for breaking her grandfather's axe, and and then Harvey says, well, that's all fine and good, but that don't explain why she's out there chopping wood. He says, well, you haven't heard the rest of the story. And Harvey says, okay, what's the rest of the story? He says, well, next season, when it came time for chopping wood, I'd got it all cut up into, 18-inch lengths, something that fits in the fireplace. And excuse me, I need to get another charge of Maine coffee. Again, thank you, John, for my Maine mug. Really good stuff, and really tastes all the better coming out of a Maine mug. I went up to take that axe out to start chopping wood. She comes running out the kitchen and says, don't you dare touch that axe. That's my axe. I said, well, how are we going to get the chopping done? And she said, well, I'm going to do it myself. And I'm thinking to myself, gosh, Virgil, you're a genius. Your plan's actually working. And she's been chopping the wood ever since. and Harvey says, oh, gosh, Virgil, I wish I was at least half as clever as you. He says, oh, Harvey, don't put yourself down like that. You are half as clever as me. Then Harvey says, Virgil, she's got quite a pile of wood out there. Don't you think we should go out and help her load it up into the woodshed? Virgil just winked at Harvey and said, no, don't have to worry about that, nother. He says, bought her a new wheelbarrow for her birthday in September.